Control and mastery. Taking full control of your mind, your actions, and your life. Control your mind or be controlled. Right now, your mind is not under your control. It reacts to distractions, to emotions, to impulses. You wake up and check your phone. You feel tired and you slow down. You feel doubt and you stop. That's not control. That's obedience. You are obeying every thought as if it were a command. But here's the truth. Not every thought deserves your attention. Some are fear, some are laziness, some are just noise, and yet you follow them. That's why you lose focus. That's why you lose consistency. That's why you lose progress. Because your mind is leading you instead of serving you. But that changes now. You don't stop your thoughts. You don't fight them. You observe them. And then you choose. You choose which thoughts to follow. You choose which impulses to ignore. You choose which actions to take. That's control. And once you take control of your mind, you take control of everything. Focus is a superpower. Look around you. Everyone is distracted. Constant notifications, endless scrolling, short attention spans. People can't even sit in silence for 5 minutes. And in a world like this, focus becomes power. Because while everyone is divided, you are locked in. While everyone is jumping from one thing to another, you are going deep. And depth is where results are created. But focus is not something you have, it's something you train. You eliminate distractions, you remove what doesn't matter. You create an environment where work becomes easier than escape. At first, your mind will resist. It will crave stimulation. It will look for shortcuts. Don't give in. Stay with the task. Stay with the discomfort. Stay with the silence. Because every time you bring your attention back, you sharpen it, and over time, you become someone who can focus longer, work harder, and produce more than anyone around you. That's not luck. That's trained power. Emotional control is strength. You don't lose because of your situation. You lose because of your reactions. One bad moment turns into a bad day. One failure turns into doubt. One criticism turns into insecurity, not because of what happened, but because of how you responded. Most people are controlled by their emotions. They feel something and they act on it immediately. Anger, they react. Fear, they stop. Doubt, they quit. That's weakness. Not because emotions are bad, but because they are leading you. Real strength is different. You feel everything, but you don't obey everything. You feel fear, and you move forward anyway. You feel doubt, and you continue anyway. You feel pressure, and you stay calm. That's control. Because when your emotions stop controlling your actions, nothing can stop you. Standards create power. You don't rise to your goals. You fall to your standards. That's why most people stay the same. They have big dreams, but low standards. They say they want success, but they accept distraction. They accept inconsistency. They accept excuses. And what you accept becomes your reality. So if you want a different life, you don't just set goals. You raise your standards. You decide, I don't skip work. I don't quit when it's hard. I don't go back to old habits. Not sometimes, every time. Standards remove decisions. No more, should I do it today? It's already decided. And when your standards are high, your behavior follows. And when your behavior changes, your life has no choice but to change with it. You become what you repeat. At the end of everything, it comes down to this: repetition. Not motivation, not talent, not luck. What you do every single day. Because every action you repeat becomes part of you. You wake up early every day? you become disciplined. You train every day, you become strong. You focus every day, you become sharp. But the opposite is also true. You procrastinate every day, you become weak. You distract yourself every day, you become unfocused. You quit every day, you become someone who never finishes. That's the reality most people ignore. You are not one decision, you are a pattern. So if you want to change your life, you don't look for one big moment. You build small actions and you repeat them until they define you. Because in the end, you don't become what you want. You become what you do. Now we enter the level most people never reach. Because this is no longer about understanding. This is about execution, dominance, and separation. Execution and dominance. You already know what to do. That's not your problem. Your problem is hesitation. You think too much. You analyze too much. You wait for the perfect moment that never comes. And while you're thinking, nothing happens. Execution doesn't require perfect clarity. It requires movement, because action creates clarity, not the other way around. Every time you hesitate, you give doubt time to grow. Every time you delay, you weaken your momentum, and slowly you fall back into the same patterns. So you change the rule. You stop negotiating with yourself. You stop asking, should I do it? You replace it with one command: do it now. No debate, no emotion, no delay. Because the faster you execute, the less power doubt has over you, and the more dangerous you become. Outwork everyone. People like to talk about talent, about intelligence, about opportunity, but there is one thing that beats all of it: work. Relentless, consistent, focused work. Because talent without work fades. But work without talent, that builds power. Most people work when they feel like it. You work regardless. They stop when it gets hard. You continue. They look for balance. You look for progress. That's the difference. And over time, that difference becomes a gap. A gap in skill, a gap in discipline, a gap in results. Until one day, you're no longer competing. You've separated yourself. Not because you were gifted, but because you refused to be outworked. No excuses, no escape. Excuses are comfortable. They protect your ego. They justify your lack of progress. They give you a reason to stay the same. I'm tired. I don't have time. I'll start tomorrow. You've said them before, everyone has. But here's the truth. Every excuse you accept builds a weaker version of you. Because it teaches your mind it's okay to stop. And once your mind learns that, it will use it again, and again, and again, until quitting becomes normal. So you make a decision. No more excuses. Not some, not most, none. You're tired? You still do it. You don't feel like it? You still do it. It's hard? You still do it. Because discipline doesn't negotiate. And neither do you anymore. Become relentless. There is a level beyond motivation, beyond discipline. It's called being relentless. That's when nothing stops you. Not mood, not failure, not pressure. You don't slow down. You don't question yourself. You don't go back. You move forward, no matter what. Relentless people are different. They don't rely on energy. They rely on standards. They don't depend on motivation. They depend on identity. They are the type of people who, even on their worst day, still show up, still work, still push. Because for them, stopping is not an option. And when you reach that level, you become unstoppable. Not because life gets easier, but because you stop being affected by how hard it is. Separate yourself. At some point, you have to make a choice. Do you want to fit in, or do you want to rise? because you cannot do both. If you follow the crowd, you get average results. If you think like everyone else, you live like everyone else. And deep down, you know that's not what you want. So you separate. Not loudly, not for attention, but through your actions. You work when others relax. You focus when others distract themselves. You stay disciplined when others quit. And slowly, the gap grows. People start to notice. They say, "You've changed." They say you're different. They're right, because you made a decision they didn't. To stop being average. To stop following the same path. To stop limiting yourself. And now, you stand in a different place. A place most people never reach. Not because it was impossible, but because it required everything. And you gave it.